Welcome to the workout. I'm Holly Perkins. Today we've got legs, back, and biceps. If you know me, you know this is my number one favorite workout. I love legs and I love training your back. Listen up, this is a strength training workout and I'm gonna teach you a hot tip right off the bat. Strengthening your back muscles are secondary to strengthening your lower body. Your back muscles are incredibly important to keep strong because it's what holds you up in space against gravity. Weak back muscles mean poor posture over time. Most experts agree that you want to be doing pulling and back exercises 2 times each week, so today we're going to take care of one of them. You are going to need a handled resistance band, a circular hip band, and a set of dumbbells if you have them. If you've got a bench or an elevated surface, use it, but you don't absolutely have to have it. You'll be able to work around the bench with a chair or a step, and you can even just do it on the floor if you need to. But let's get this party started. Take your feet separated and let's take a big inhale up, reaching up. Don't just inhale, extend to your ceiling. Exhale it out and do that again. So this is a big inhale, but it's really a stretch and a lengthening way up to the ceiling. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, breathe. We're gonna stay here and I want you to very actively look up, reach up as high as you possibly can. Truly trying to lengthen yourself out every single little centimeter that you can. Short little breaths here. Reach, 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 reach. Exhale it out and let's come into a spinal twist. So that reaching exercise is actually from physical therapy. It's one of the best ways to activate your transverse abdominis muscle. It's one of the most important core muscles that really controls your spine. So we're gonna do that again in a moment. But here on our spinal twist, just let your arms go. Let them flow around you. Let your spine rotate a little bit. It should feel really good. I want you to anchor down on your pelvis so that your hips don't rotate a whole lot. You can let them move a little, but you want to really activate the glute of the leg that you're turning away from so that you create a foundation to spin around. Otherwise, just let your arms go, let them twist. Let's release some of that stickiness through your shoulders, your torso, and your hips. Let's go one more and relax. Okay, feet under your hips. We're gonna do this again. Just take your arms up over your head naturally. On go, I want you to very actively lengthen yourself out. On go. Okay, reach, reach, reach. Imagine you are trying to lengthen the space from your ribs to your hips. It's active. You do have to take short little breaths because breathing can be a hair awkward, but reach farther, farther, farther as high as you can. You're gonna feel those muscles in your abdomen fire and grab. It's the best. Reach, 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 reach. Exhale and release it out. Take your feet separated. Take a look down. Toes are forward. Feet stay truly parallel. I don't want your toes to rotate open unless you've got active discomfort when we come into our side lunge. Push your hips back, let your knees bend, and I want you to just come to a nice side to side lunge, beginning to get a stretch on the inner thigh, putting some pressure onto the heel of that bent leg, okay? Push those hips way back, and let's sit a bit deeper. We're gonna really turn this into a great preparatory move, warming up the leg that is bent, pressing into the heel, pressing your hips way back, keeping a neutral, natural curvature in your lower back. Please know you can modify any of my movements to suit wherever you are today. Something like this, you could just stay a bit shallow. Look down at your toes, unless you've got very uncomfortable knees at this very minute. I want you to keep your feet parallel to each other. So even if you have a history of knee funkiness, if you're not feeling your knees today, keep those toes parallel. Let's go one more. And relax, feet under your hips. Let's do that transverse abdominis reach one more time. Arms up over your head naturally, and go, reach, and lengthen. Truly active. This is an exercise. If you feel the muscles of your back activate, your lower back, that means you're doing this exercise right, so congratulations. Really lengthen, more, every little centimeter, more. Feel your core grab. If you do it right, you're gonna see all of the magic in this exercise. And relax it out. Bring your feet together. Lower your center of gravity by bending your knees. Keep your standing knees slightly bent. Bring your balance over onto your right leg. Steady yourself. If this is hard for you, stay here. If this is easy for you, you're gonna start to look around your space, intentionally trying to throw your balance off. That's the whole point of this exercise, is to use your vision to destabilize yourself so that all of the muscles below your waist on that right leg have to fire up. This is one of the best functional exercises that every single woman should be doing every single week. And if you find yourself looking around and you're stable, look way up, look behind you, move your eyeballs and your chin. As soon as you start to move your eyeballs around, it gets really hard. You should feel that leg warming up. The hip is gonna get fatigued. You might feel the arch in this foot grab. That's the whole goal of this exercise. Relax and let's switch. Feet together, lower your center of gravity. Keep this leg bent. Bring your weight over onto that leg. You should be able to pick up your foot and stay put. That's the motto. Pick up the foot and stay put. Nothing moves. And if you can't do that, you've got to be working on this exercise every single week. And then once you get good and you stay put, then you start to look around. Now, if you're watching me on playback and you're just sitting there at your desk, just watching, I realize this could look like a very silly exercise, but get off your booty, try it with us, because this exercise will change your life forever. You're gonna age gracefully. You're never gonna turn an ankle. You're never gonna injure a knee. You're always gonna keep your hips healthy by doing just this one exercise. It's powerful. As simple as it may seem, it is powerful. Look around. The more you wobble, the better. Use your arms, right? Yes, use those arms. Good job, guys. I see you. I see you guys. I see you, Diane. I see you, Kathy. And relax. Good job, guys. So I'm just gonna talk about that for a moment. Really and truly, if you can master this exercise, you are gonna be so much stronger and so much better balanced for the rest of your life. It's such an incredible, important exercise. Let's keep our warm-up going and then we'll get into the workout. Feet together. Take a big reach up. And I want you to take a big step back, coming into a runner's lunge, push into your front leg, reach up, other leg. Now, when you reach up, let's add that lengthening so that you are really bringing in that transverse abdominis exercise, reaching for the ceiling, big reach, big lunge, big reach, big lunge. Push into the front heel, let the back knee very gently release down to the ground. So a couple of things are multiple things are happening here, honestly. But here, we're getting an opening on the back hip flexor here. When you press to step forward, here, you're activating the hamstrings and the glute here on that front leg. It's also bringing the heart rate up, getting us prepared for the workout, and incorporating more of that core exercise that we just introduced. Big reach, and let's do one more. And relax. Let's get into the workout. Legs, back, and biceps. We're gonna be working in supersets. 2 exercises put together, no rest in between, short rest after. 20 to 30 seconds between the supersets. Your job is to find a weight load where reps number 11 and 12 are hard. I want you counting out 12 reps, and when you get to 11, you should feel it, and when you get to 12, you should curse me. And if you do that, you're gonna get stronger. That's what this workout is about. This is not a cardio workout. This is not a boot camp workout. This is a make you strong workout. First exercise, light to moderate dumbbell, feet together, knees bent. It's a side lunge with a pull, 12 on this leg, 12 on the other leg. Heavier dumbbell. You'll want an elevated surface, but it could be a stair, a chair, a couch, in anything for single arm row. Now, if you don't have something like this, you can just use your knee here, okay? Dumbbell single arm row, 12 on each arm. Let's get it started. Find that first weight load. You want light to, let's call it light to moderate, depending on your ability here for this first exercise. Feet together, bend your knees, taking a lunge out, push off the heel, dumbbell to your chest for a pull to begin to incorporate the biceps. Pull. You got 12 reps. Letting this knee bend. Bend that knee. The other foot stays planted. Okay, so you're getting some really great lateral flexibility on that ankle. Keep this foot planted and toe mostly forward. You're just coming out and landing on the ball of the foot, then pushing off the heel right there. 12 reps, pulling with the biceps to here, 1 or 2 more, and then we'll go right to that other side. And relax. Same thing on the other side. Feet together, bend your knees, toes pointed forward, big step out, deep lunge, step together. Now, you're probably gonna notice that one side can do this a whole lot better than the other side. One side's gonna feel fluid and natural and good at it, right? And then one side is just gonna feel kind of like, awkward. So this is that awkward side for me. Land on the ball of the foot, but push off the heel right there. On the side that feels awkward, I want you to take a look at the straight leg here and see if you're bending your knee. A lot of times what people do is they start to bend their knee here, and that makes it really awkward. Just let this leg be. Don't let that leg do anything. You're thinking about this leg, landing and pushing off. And we got dumbbell, single arm row, using a heavier weight load here, 10, 15, 20 or more, feet separated, okay? Bend your knees, neutral arch in your lower back, pull your dumbbell to your rib cage. Pause at the top. If you're new around here, you're gonna learn, I love a pause here at the point of maximal contraction on any of your strength, as many strength exercises as possible. It's so good to improve time under tension on the muscle. And what I have found after 30 years of coaching women is that when you give yourself that pause, something happens to really help you understand what the exercise is actually about. You can feel it in the muscles better. You line up your joints better with that pause. So try it. Same on the other side. 12 reps with that pause. Keeping the knees bent. Keeping a neutral, natural little bit of curvature at your lower back. You don't want your lower back rounded out. It would look like this. And a lot of you probably look like this. Let that lower back come to its intended lumbar lordosis curvature. It's intended to have a bit of an arch there. 12 reps with that pause, relax, short break, and we're gonna go into our second set. While you're getting ready for your second set, I want you to assess how was the first set. I gotta fix my microphone, hold on here, because she's all over the place. There we go. How was that first set? Could you do a slightly heavier weight load on the second set? And ask yourself honestly, if you were like, 12 reps, I could do 20. I don't want you to do 20. If you can do 20, you're not doing it the way that I want you to do it. Pick up a heavier dumbbell. If you don't have heavier weight loads today, elongate, accentuate your pause on each of these exercises. Or if you don't have heavier weight load today, then you can do more reps, okay? But really and truly, I'm gonna serve you better if you go shopping later today and get yourself some heavier dumbbells or heavier resistance bands for some of the other exercises. Let's go, second set. Push off that heel, keeping your chest up, right? Anytime that we're using our legs or our feet, you want to try and shift your balance, the emphasis, and your weight load back onto the heels. You pretty much always want to be keeping your toes relaxed. Now here, you land on the ball of the foot, but then shift the pressure and the energy to the heel so that your toes, especially on this foot, are nice and relaxed. Same thing on the other side. Feet together, bend your knees, neutral curvature in your back. Don't forget that great core exercise that we did at the beginning, reaching up to the ceiling, where you draw your abs inward. Draw them in right here. So that reaching transverse abdominis exercise, you can bring that into every single exercise right here. You can even bring it right here. Draw your abs in, contract them in to lengthen out your torso and your spine. 12 reps, hopefully they're hard. And then we're gonna go into that dumbbell single arm row, hopefully with a heavier dumbbell. Remember, add the pause at the top. If it's still easy, grab yourself a heavier dumbbell. Feet hip distance, bend your knees, check your lower back. Do you have a bit of an arch? If you do, you're probably gonna feel a little stretch in your hamstrings. Probably, unless you're super duper flexible. Big pull here. Bringing your palm right to the side of your rib cage, where that dumbbell really comes up and it's gonna stretch from the middle of your breast line on the side of your body down to your hip. You should really feel this dumbbell touch along the side of your chest line and all the way down to your hip. This is where it's coming, higher or lower, okay? But your palm ends up right by your rib. That's your position. 12 reps, same on the other side. Keeping knees bent, lower back naturally curved, drawing in on your abs, still incorporating that great transverse abdominis exercise that we did at the beginning. Try to keep your neck in alignment so that you're not looking up forward towards your screen. You can listen to me. Once you get the gist of the exercise, you can keep your head in alignment and just listen up. 12 reps, short break, and then I'm gonna show you the next superset. If you want a harder workout today, go ahead, take a short break, and then get started on doing a third set of the same superset. Otherwise, I'm gonna show you the next two exercises, and I'm changing it on the fly. Next exercise, you're going to, no, I'm not gonna do that, never mind. We're gonna save that for later. Next exercise, you can do this body weight or with a dumbbell, totally up to you. So, you're going to bring your feet together, holding your dumbbell in your left hand. Feet together, knees bent. You're going to step back on your left leg for a reverse lunge and step together. As I said, you can do this body weight only if you want, or hold a dumbbell. If you're more advanced, you're gonna hold your dumbbell over your head. 12 reps, then we'll switch legs, same on the other leg. Next exercise, one of my absolute favorites If you know me, you know lying dumbbell pullover. So you can do this on the floor, even though I'm gonna demonstrate on a bench. I do like it better on a bench. Dumbbell is directly up over your chest. It arcs over your head, and then you drive through to your waist. Arcing over your head, drive through to your waist. If you know me, you know that's in the top 5 of my all-time favorite exercises. I love that exercise. Okay, let's go. Reverse lunge, body weight or with a dumbbell right here. Feet together, knees bent, and from here, we're stepping straight back and forward, 12 reps. Now, listen, this is a front leg exercise. This isn't about your moving leg. This is about the leg that stays forward. So put your mental energy into your front leg. In particular, put your body weight onto the front heel. Heavy on your heel to drive you forward. Squeeze your glute here to make sure you're fully opening your hip to end the movement. 12 reps, like I said, if you want to be more advanced, you're going to hold the dumbbell straight up over your head. 12 reps, same thing, other side. And like I said, you can also just do this body weight only. And if you need a bit of a modification, just bring your hands onto your front leg and then step forward. Hands on the front leg, step forward. If you're just getting comfortable with your lunging movement, try it that way so that you really feel safe in this move. I am a huge fan of split lunge positioning strength exercises. What that means is any exercise where you're here, a lunge split leg positioned exercise, I am a huge fan of. And there's a bunch of them. They could be lunges, split squat, Bulgarian split squat, forward walking lunges. There's all kinds of exercises that fit into this category. And I know they're challenging. I know, but I promise you, if you gradually build up your ability, it's an incredibly beneficial and healing exercise. Lying dumbbell pullover, do it on the floor. If you don't have an elevated surface, it looks exactly the same on the floor. The only difference on the floor is that here, your dumbbell is gonna hit the ground. So you don't have quite as much range of motion here. What you can do, if you're on the floor, you can hold your dumbbell like this, so that when it comes back, you've got about 4 to 6 inches more depth. But that's one of the reasons why I love an exercise bench, because you're able to go a bit deeper and really get to the perfect position on this exercise. I want you to really think about drawing your shoulder blades towards your hips. So push your shoulders down towards your hips. Disclaimer, whenever I do a whole lot of extra reps, you'll know that's because it's one of my favorite exercises. Whenever I get to an exercise that just feels so good, that's usually when I end up doing way more than 12 reps. And yes, that's a cue that I need a heavier dumbbell, but they just feel so good. Short break, we're gonna do our second set. How did that first set feel? How did those reverse lunges feel? Remember, no shame in that game if you wanna use something for a little bit of stability. We all started doing these body weight only. So even I started a lot of my split positionings, I had to start body weight for a long time. So it's okay. And then once those 12 reps feel comfortable, you add the weight load. Let's go in for that second set. Dumbbell is in your left hand. And then you are gonna step back on your left foot, knees bent, focusing on that front leg, okay? You're holding your dumbbell on the left hand and stepping back with the left foot. Cool? Focusing your attention, your energy, your love onto the front leg. Push into the heel. Remember what I said on our very first exercise? No. No, because I said a million things. What I said was, keep your body weight focused over the heel. This case, front heel, so that your toes on your front leg stay relaxed. I don't want you gripping the floor with your toes of that front leg. Now that moving leg has to do a whole lot with the toes. But since we're working your front leg, you want the effort on that heel, maybe into the arch, but you want to release your toes. If you want to make it harder, just hold that dumbbell up over your head. Right there. Now, here's the deal though. Once this gets doable, if this is comfortable for you, I don't want you to do more reps. What do I want you to do? Get a heavier dumbbell. That's right. If 12 reps here or with that dumbbell over your head become easy, that's your cue to go shopping. Press into your front heel, 12 reps. And we're gonna go on to lying dumbbell pullover. Lying dumbbell pullover. So now listen, this exercise is using your back and your shoulder extensors, which are very strong muscles, the two together. So this exercise really is designed to be a heavier weight load. And I realize it could feel a little uncertain. If you have very unstable shoulders, I want you to make sure that you're using one of my mantras, shoulders back and down, shoulders back and down, shoulders back and down. What does that mean? Shoulders back means you're pulling your shoulder blades towards each other, back in space, towards the bench. That's shoulders back. Shoulders down is right here. Push your shoulders towards your hips, lock them there, especially here. So when your arms are over your head, it's critical. Yes, bold, italics, and underlined. Critical that your shoulder girdle here is pressing towards your hips, because that is what brings stability to tricky shoulders. Here, when your dumbbell's over your head, if those shoulders start to lift up out of your body, you're in a very weak position. We want the shoulders down towards your hips when that dumbbell is over your head. And if you need to start a little light on that exercise, that's cool. But just know once you get comfortable with it, the full expression of this exercise, you'll actually be super strong. Next two exercises, we've got one that's best with a heavier dumbbell or a kettlebell. I don't know where my kettlebell is today. It couldn't have gone very far. Where's my kettlebell? Oh, there it is. Okay, I'm gonna use my kettlebell. So you can use a heavier dumbbell if you want. I do like a kettlebell for this exercise. It's a sumo squat. Toes are turned open slightly, a little bit. You're sitting straight down and then standing. You can do this with a dumbbell too. You just hold your dumbbell end to end, okay? Chest stays up, sumo squat. Second exercise, you're gonna want your handled resistance band. Another back exercise. Feet together. Once you're in your band, check the height of your handles on your legs and try to get your band equidistant on each side. Pretty important, okay? And then from here, knees bent, lower back with a bit of an arch. We're gonna do a band lat row. If your band is too long, you're just gonna choke up so that you've got your hands down by your knees with resistance on the band, pausing at the top if you can. Cool? Here we go, sumo squat. Heavier weight load, 8, 10, maybe even more pounds depending on your ability. Heels are shoulder width distance apart, toes are turned open, chest is up. Where are your shoulders? Back and down, you got it. Shoulders back and down, here we go. Straight down, squeeze your glutes. At the top, make sure that you're finishing the move by getting your hips underneath your shoulders and give me a good glute squeeze. For most women, this glute squeeze is going to mean that you have to get a little bit of an anterior pelvic tilt. So what that means is, at the top, most women, because of glute weakness, need to exaggerate the pelvic tilt so you get a really good glute squeeze right there. A little bit of that anterior pelvic tilt helps most of us get into a better glute contraction. Squeeze the glutes at the top, but make sure your hips are ending under your shoulders. 12 reps, bent over, row with a resistance band. So set it up so that you've got equidistance on that band. You can use your handles or choke up on your band if you want. Knees bent, arch in your lower back, hands are near your knees, rowing those elbows up and back in space. It's a very similar movement as to that dumbbell single arm row that we did on the bench. The difference is your torso is now at a different angle. You're not bent over as much. And so it's going to challenge your back muscles and your shoulder muscles a bit differently. Keep your neck in alignment so that there is a 90-degree angle at your chin, pausing at the top if you can. Here, 12 reps, short break, getting set up for our second set as you assess the first set. So, how'd that sumo squat feel? And if you were like, oh, it felt good. Yeah, it's good, it's good. If that's your answer, that's a cue to try a heavier weight load, because the answer I really want is, hey, how was that sumo squat? And Heidi says, oh my gosh, that was so hard. I couldn't do another rep, or I couldn't do a heavier weight load. That should be the answer, okay? And if it's not, your body is quite sneaky and quite sophisticated. So your whole system, your intuition, your inner knowing, your body, your organism has the answer. And so if I say, hey, how hard did that feel? No, it was okay. That's feedback. Cool? Toes are turned open, heels under your shoulders, chest is up, shoulders back and down. Here we go. Sitting nice and deep. Remember, you can hold a dumbbell. You could hold a dumbbell in the same orientation, so end to end, just like I am. Or you could hold that dumbbell end to end, right? Lateral, like that, parallel with the ground. Either way, and you might hear my kettlebell tap the floor at the bottom, but it's not, the goal isn't necessarily to touch the floor. The goal is to get your hips down so that they are just a little bit above your knees. Chest stays up, squeeze the glutes. Toes are definitely opened a little bit here. Get those hips under you. When you get it right, it feels awesome. So good, especially if you sit a lot during the week. It's heaven. Okay, bent over, band row, second set. And then we'll be moving on to our fourth superset. We got 5 supersets of 2 exercises each, 10 exercises. Step into that band, check the distance so that each hand is getting an equal amount of effort. Bend your knees, arch in your lower back, row the palms towards your ribs. Pause if you can. So again, shoulders back, meaning draw your shoulder blades towards each other, back in space, okay? That's called shoulder retraction, pulling them back, retracting your shoulder blades. That's shoulders back. Shoulders down means you're pushing your shoulders towards your hips. That's called shoulder depression or scapular depression. Pushing your shoulder blades towards your hips activates the muscles that we're going for here, but also the muscles that keep your shoulders healthy. If you want a harder workout today, go for a third superset of those two moves, I'm gonna show you our next two exercises. One of them I haven't done with you guys here on my live workout in a very long time, so I'm gonna demonstrate it a little differently. It does help if you have a surface. So it could be a living room chair, it could be your couch, it could be anything that's about this height. If you don't have an exercise bench, I find it helpful, but even a folding chair could work perfectly. So we're gonna do a bench squat, which means it's a squat, but you're touching your booty to a surface to give you a little bit of assistance. With it, you can use a pretty good weight load. So heels are about shoulder width distance apart, or a little wider. Your dumbbells are gonna be at your shoulders. You can also do this body weight only. And you're gonna bend your knees, reach your hips back, squatting down until your booty just touches that chair. Pause, stand and squeeze your glutes. Hips back, really push those hips back and squeeze your booty. Okay, just gently touching that bench. So it's a squat, but I'm giving you a bottom end range to make it a little more doable so you can go slightly heavier. Second exercise is a traditional hammer curl. Palms are towards each other, keeping your shoulders back and down, keeping your elbows without, we don't want your elbows to kick way back, and we don't want your elbows to kick way forward. Elbows stay about where they are right there. Palms stay facing each other. Join me for the squat. Heels are shoulder width distance apart. Toes are open, definitely open, all right? Dumbbells at your shoulders or body weight only. Bend your knees, push your hips back, feel that surface, drive into your heels, squeeze your glutes at the top. Chest stays lifted. I love this version of a squat, even with a barbell, by the way, because what it does is it just stabilizes you a tiny little bit. It's almost like a little bit of a cheat at the bottom of the move here, but what that does, that tiny bit of a cheat allows you to have a bit of support so you can perform the exercise better. It's really pretty genius. Reach those hips back, squeeze your glutes at the top. If you're someone who ever said, like, I can't do squats, or squats are hard for me, or I never seem to get it right, this is how you're gonna get it right. And you're gonna get it right because that little support right there is gonna help you get your bottom position better. Feet together, knees bent, shoulders back and down. Give me a pause at the top. All biceps here. So legs, back and biceps today. We've gotten legs and back so far. Now we're beginning to incorporate biceps. I love this move, a dumbbell hammer curl. The reason why I love it, especially for women, is it makes your arms look really nice. Athletic, toned and muscular, but also still a bit feminine. Now, I don't have any, problems wrong with looking unfeminine or more masculine or whatever adjective you want to use there, but my community and the women in my community tend to really want that athletic, definitely toned, slightly muscular, but still feminine look. And I love dumbbell hammer curls for that. And that's not to say there's anything wrong with building big, strong, powerful, athletic muscles either. I just like the way that shapes the arms. Short break, and then we're gonna do a second set here before we go on to our last superset. And again, you can move a little bit faster, adding in a third superset if you want. If you're here with me live, stick around after the workout for a Q&A and a workout after the workout. If you're watching this in playback and you want to join us, you should join us live. It's a lot of fun. I got a bunch of friends, probably about 30 friends with us here behind the camera doing this workout live with me every Saturday. Come on over to my website, hollyperkins.com/ I think it's free workout. I think it's free workout. I think that's what it is, but I'm not sure actually. I think it's free workout. But come on over to my website and you'll be pointed in the right direction. So let's go for that second set. Heels are under your shoulders, turn your toes open. Dumbbells or none, knees soft, push your hips back, keep your chest up, squeeze your glutes at the top. So again, just like I said, on that very first exercise, what did I say? Keep your body weight backward so that the force and the emphasis is on your heels so that you can keep your toes mostly relaxed. We don't want a death grip on the toes, okay? They can stay active, but you really want to focus pushing into the heels so that you can begin to use your glutes more so that your glutes are powering this move. And then once you get that down, you can get more advanced with what you're doing with your feet and your toes. We can get a lot more skilled in footwork. But in my community, the women that I work with, most of them really need to first learn how to activate the glutes, and pushing your energy and the pressure into your heels to your arches is really the best way to accomplish that. Shoulders back and down. And listen, to really make your arms look incredible and get this exercise right, you want to really lock your shoulders in place. A big mistake I see with a lot of people, men and women, on bicep curls is they start to lift their shoulders. They start to get shoulder movement upward. So when you're pulling, you want to actually push down on your shoulder girdle. When you're pulling here, push your shoulders down, then pull so that your shoulders stay locked in place. 12 reps, short rest, or you can do a third superset while I show you our final superset of 2 exercises. We've got another bicep with hip extension specific to the glutes, one of my favorites. You will need a circular hip band. If you don't have one, you can do this exercise without the hip band just fine. This just makes it a little bit more challenging. Put the band through one foot. Once you get it around your knee, you're gonna use your arms to stretch the band and step through. Stretch, step through, place it above your knees. That makes it pretty easy. Okay, it is helpful to have that band nice and flat on your pants. There is something called abduction of your legs, knees, or thighs, and that means you're stretching the band outward, okay? Stretching the band outward. You want to keep this abduction through this exercise, which is a glute kickback. If you want to hold something to stabilize you for balance, go for it. You can also do it in the middle of the room. Ideal to try and really pause here at that point of full hip extension. 12 reps, keep the band on. Last exercise is 45-degree bicep curl, shoulders back and down, elbows come to 45, there. Then you come to 45 open, and then it's a bicep curl. Bicep curl with the arms opened at about 45 degrees. Another really great one for the biceps, but it also starts to incorporate the deltoids in this position, which I really like. Okay, let's go. Glute band, glute kickback, feet together, knees bent, stretching the band away from each other so your knees abduct, abs in nice and tight, kicking back. Give me a pause on the back end if you need to. If you can, and if you can't, that's okay. And like I said, if you don't have a circular hip band, you can do this without the hip band. I just want you to really squeeze and pause right there. Because if you don't got that resistance here, you definitely want to be using your own isometric contraction to increase the challenge of the exercise. So time under tension is a form of resistance of sorts. So if you don't have a resistance band and you just spend an extra 2 or 3 seconds here, you're gonna be getting added challenge to the glute by improving the time under tension instead of increasing the level of intention. Yeah, right? Oh my gosh, my brain is like totally frying today. So that does the work for you if you don't have the band, simply by using your intention and squeezing in that contraction, you're getting more of that time under tension. Big squeeze. Try to keep those abs drawn in. Same exercise from the very beginning so that you're still lengthening up towards the ceiling, right? So your tummy draws in. We keep that transverse abdominis active, pausing on the back end if you can, driving back through that heel. And if your band is heavier, harder resistance, you can also just kick out and come right back. You don't have to pause. The heavier, the harder your band, the less of a pause you're gonna want right there, okay? Abs drawn in, 12 reps, and relax. 45-degree bicep curl. So shoulders are back and down. Come to 90 degrees at the elbow, open 45 degrees, and bicep curl right here. Shoulders back and down, opening out so you get some of that deltoid action as well, but try it. So push your shoulders to your hips, especially at the bottom right here. Shoulders, push them towards your hips, keep them there, then pull. Notice how much better and more effective that feels on the biceps. Pretty powerful. 12 reps here. If you've got lighter dumbbells and you don't have the option to go heavier, it's fine to do more reps today. But if you're gonna join us again or do this exercise again, I really encourage you to get some heavier dumbbells because you really want rep number 11 and 12 to be hard. We want them to be hard. If you're going beyond 12 reps, in my experience, for women, it's harder to build muscle at higher rep ranges. That's in my experience. There's two different kinds of muscle hypertrophy. Higher rep ranges can build sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, but I really find the myofibrillar hypertrophy at a lower rep range, heavier weight load tends to work better for women. Second set, glute kickback, feet together, bend the knees. Use your abs, use that transverse abdominis to really lock off your pelvis. Squeeze on the back end, you got 12 reps here. If this is comfortable, go grab a heavier resistance band. If you don't have it, you can pause longer right there, or you can do more reps as a last resort. Keep those abs drawn in, super tight, 12 reps. Super tall, abs drawn in, 12 reps, and then same on the other side. Feet together, knees bent, lifting up towards the ceiling just like we did at the beginning to draw those abs in. Give me a pause on the back end and really squeeze that glutey. Squeeze that glutey gang. Lengthen out, extend through your heel, keep your chest lifted. Try not to have too much range of motion at your hip. You just want the leg to move. You don't want your whole pelvic structure and lower back to change. Just want this leg to move, that's it. Lock everything else off. Big pause, couple more, and then we're gonna go into that final set of 45-degree bicep curl. Challenge yourself if that last set was doable. Feet together, knees bent, shoulders, where are they? Back and down. 90 degrees, 45, and pull. 12 reps for 1. Press your shoulder blades down. Again, your elbows are gonna move a bit. That notion of like locking your elbows off without any movement at all is silliness. That's not accurate because in the real world, your elbow is gonna move a little bit whenever you're using your arm. We just don't want a whole lot. We don't want a whole bunch of change on the elbow, right? We don't want the elbow to kick way back. We don't want the elbow to come way forward. You wanna keep the elbow, I would say, within about an inch in either direction. Really locked off in space with a bit of wiggle room. Just a little bit of wiggle room. Pull, 12 reps. One more, and relax. Go ahead, drop your dumbbells, take a moment, be safe, be cautious. Take your circular hip band off. The tighter your band, the harder it is to get off around your shoes. So take a moment, and we're gonna go through a couple stretches. Let's take a big inhale. First, big inhale up, stretch up to the ceiling. Exhale. Let's go 2 more just like that. Just breathing deep, letting your belly fill. Exhale out, 1 more. Because of the bicep and back work, I want to do a little stretch for the chest. So you're going to bring your hands back behind, retract your shoulders, clasp your fingers, reach back and press down. So actively pushing down and back, bringing your shoulder blades towards each other, opening your chest, and then push your chest forward. Push your chest forward. And if you really get this right and you're really retracting your shoulders, here you can see that what it does is it fully opens the shoulder girdle. So we get some opening on the chest to counter the pulling exercises we did. Release your hands up back behind your head, interlock, press your elbows back, lift your chin, press your chest forward, bring your shoulder blades towards each other, and imagine you're pushing your elbows back to a wall behind you. So if you had a back at your wall, you're back to a wall at your back. You're back to a wall. Press your elbows back into that wall to make it active, leading with your chest pushing forward. And relax it out. The ever important quad stretch. If you need to use something to stabilize your balance, bring your body weight onto one leg and just bring that heel up back behind. You can grab your pant leg or your shoe lace. From here, I want you to tuck your pelvis under to rotate the pelvis, lock your pelvis in place, and then pull the knee back. So you want to keep your pelvis tucked under, but pull the bent knee so that it's next to the standing knee or behind the standing knee when you look down. It's okay if it's next to it, depending on your flexibility, right? If your quads are tight, you're gonna have to start with a tucked pelvis, knees next to each other. Tuck that pelvis like crazy. That's the beat that a lot of people miss when they're stretching their quads. Almost everyone, to be honest with you, which is why I did a full YouTube video on all of my favorite quad stretches where we talk about this. So the beat that so many people miss when they tell you about stretching quads is that hip component. So tuck the pelvis under because your quadriceps actually start above your hip. So in order to really lengthen out those 4 quadricep muscles, we've got to have the pelvis posteriorly rotated to fully lengthen that muscle with a bent knee. So pelvis tuck, but knee is next to the standing knee or behind. Always really tucking the pelvis. The better you get at this, the more you practice this stretch, the more you'll realize how powerful it is because it really helps to reposition the pelvis. It also helps to activate and strengthen the hamstrings, all in one little stretch. So glad you were here. Thank you for joining me. If you ever want to join us live, come on over to hollyperkins.com or send me an email at holly@hollyperkins.com. Easy to remember. And I hope to see you next time. Have a great day.